What's up, guys? Welcome to the Texas A&M ebook, showing you guys how I took Texas A&M, went undefeated with them, won the national championship in season 3, and made it to the semifinals in season 2. Just show you, I did lose with Oregon twice to start off, and I lost with Oregon once in season 1, and we won the national championship there. So to start off, let's go ahead and go to the depth chart. Remove myself so you guys can see what we are working with. Okay, so we're at Texas A&M, and why Texas A&M? Well, I really like their playbook for one, and I really like the personnel they have for two. So quarterback, we have Marcel Reed. He has workhorse, option, human joystick, jukebox, and escape artist. Escape artist is really big. He has 90 speed, 92 acceleration. So that's really good. He can get you out of a lot of tight situations. Really good to have the quarterback threat there. And then for running back, we have Ruben Owens is second, 91 speed, 92. He has jukebox, spin cycle. He's really good. He's going to be our main workhorse, number 4. And then I have KJ Edwards as the backup. He's a 93 speed, really good. And then 92 Morrow as the third one. There are games where I use all 3 of these running backs because we can run the ball a decent amount out of this playbook. So having 3 really good running backs is really nice to have, and 3 running backs all above 90 speed. So it's really nice. So once Owens kind of tires out the defense, you get fresh legs of the 93 guy in, and you can really get some big touchdowns with him. Off to receiver, we have mainly these 2 guys, Craver and Horton. Craver has cutter and jukebox double dip. Spin cycle doesn't really matter too much, but he's got 94 speed. He has cutter, so he can get open against the man coverage routes. He can get open against the match coverage routes really well. And then we have Isaiah Horton, who has press pro and 50-50. So that's really good when you need to throw up those jump balls. And then some people will do man press once you start running on them a lot. And then if they do man press, you got this platinum press pro. He'll beat him at the line, and then it's just a free touchdown over the top. And then the other receivers I have is this Bethel Roman, Busey, and Johnson. It's mainly the first 2 is who we use. We don't really go into more than 3-4 wide receivers at a time. We do a lot of 2 tight end sets come out, or 2 running backs. And then here we have our tight end. He's not very good, but that's who we have. Offensive line. This is one of the things that I do like about Texas A&M is most of their offensive line does have abilities here. So the left guard, we have Eccles. He has outside shield, screen enforcer, option shield. The center has ground and pound and second level. The right guard has ground and pound and second level. And the right tackle has ground and pound second level and also inside shield. So that's good for inside zone. So really good abilities on all these linemen, which is going to be really nice. And then for defensive end on the left, we have TJ Searcy. He has option disruptor, not really a big deal. And then we got Saka, who has quick jump, pocket disruptor, duress, all platinum. He is huge for our defense. And defensive tackle, they don't have any abilities, which is unfortunate. It would be nice to have some abilities there to stop their runs, but it'll be okay. Middle linebacker, we have Mikhail, who has aftershock and hammer. Really good. And then our Mike is going to be Sanford, 82 speed. Not very great. But we have Coney as our will linebacker. He has blow up, aftershock, outside disruptor, inside disruptor. He's going to be our main, and he has hammer. He's going to be our main run stopping guy that we have. And one of the big things that I really liked about this team is the DBs. We got blanket coverage on 2 of them. We have knockout on one. We got jammer on the other. We have robber on the 3rd and 4th, and then the 5th if we need it, and 6th we have 2 more jammers. So that's like really, really good. So if we need to play man press coverage, we can do that pretty well. And the one guy that doesn't have jammer has a knockout and blanket coverage. So if we need to play man coverage on defense and send a house, we can play man press and we can be pretty comfortable with where we're set up at. And then our safeties, we got the 86 speed safety with blow up and hammer. And then we also have Brooks here, who has a knockout again, ball hawk and house call. Really, really good. Going on to, what do I use? Slot receiver. We have Busey, who has the escape artist. He's a 94 speed. Just these guys, just letting you see what I have here. Sub linebacker, we have our safety, Collins. He's 92 speed. This will be our user most of the time. 92 speed. Really, really good. 89 change of directions. And then you have Miles Davis underneath that. And if you want, Miles Davis is a little bit faster, a little bit better change of directions, less agility, less acceleration, but either of these are pretty good. They're each 6'1", so I just have Collins right now. Slot cornerback is Shaw, and then that is the team. So that's the breakdown. Really like their defense, and I like their offensive line. Now let's head onto the field so I can show you what I do offensively. Alright, so first thing I want to show you guys is our coach adjustments for the offense. I have everything on balance. I'm probably going to change this to aggressive and see how it works, but we have our pass protection on empty. We have our untargeted user defender off. But we can put that on. And then, actually, I'm going to keep that off. Because of the run game, we're going to keep that as off. For passing, we like to have that on, but we're going to be running the ball a lot. Wide receiver scramble, we have it aggressive. We want them to find our quarterback and not be on the other side of the field if we get flushed out. And zone window awareness, we have off. We want the receivers to run their full routes at full speed, okay? So let's get to it. The first play I call every single game is I go to strong I, twins over, we're calling halfback blast, the very first play, okay? So let's go and click on this. We're in LSU. Let's just go with a random nickel, okay? And here's what I do. Halfback blast. This is our first play. Every time we're going to hold left trigger, and you see this untarget defender that is triangle, and you see this fire icon, we're going to move it over and we're going to put it on the safety and hit X. Okay? Well, you don't have to hit X, but there you go. So that also marked him as the mic, which you don't really need to do. And then you just hike it. And then you make the reads on what you want to do with the blocking. This was a lot better before they took the speed boost out, obviously. So there we go. And then you just run it. You're not going to get a touchdown out of this a lot. You could, but you're mainly just hitting that gap right there every single time, hiking it, and you're aiming for this gap, and then you can cut back in if you need to. And then there's some times where you can bounce it to the outside, but mainly that's what you're doing. We're coming out, we're running this, and what we're doing after this play is over, every single time, what I want you guys to start doing and learning, you can't do this in practice mode, but in this upper right hand side of the screen where it says College Football 27, you're going to see 3 dashes, and then it's going to say RS for your right stick. I want you to toggle over twice, and then it's going to show you the previous play your opponent ran. And then, because what's likely is going to happen is your opponent's going to come out and what's comfortable for them on defense, especially the first play. And you're going to get an idea of what they want to do, either to stop the run or just for the entire game. And that can really dictate your play calling and how you can take advantage of that. So if you see man coverage a lot, expect to be using some of the man beaters a lot in this breakdown. If you see zone coverage, expect to be using a lot of the zone beaters in this breakdown. If you see match coverage, expect to be using a lot of the match coverage beaters in this breakdown. And then it'll also show you, in a way, the best ways to attack those defenses against the run, which I will show you here. So we're coming out in halfback blast. One thing I want to kind of show you guys here is that a lot of the time the user here is going to start taking that linebacker and they're going to try and shoot this gap like 24 just did. Okay? They're going to see this enough and they're going to be like, okay, I'm going to try and shoot this gap. See how 24 just came in here and shot that gap? That's what they're going to try and do. We have a counter for that, and it's going to look very similar to what we're doing. And they're more than likely not even going to know the difference. They're going to get confused unless they go to the previous play and they see that you didn't run halfback blast. You ran power O. And the difference is power O has a pulling guard. It has a pulling guard for you, so you're going to be able to bounce this to the outside even more. And of course, we get crushed here as I'm trying to show you this. And 24 came through the gap again. But I promise you, this is different blocking. It'll help out more. I've gotten a lot of huge plays by switching to this and then trying to shoot the gap, overcommit here. Right now 24 is just kicking our ass, but I'll go to a random play. But I wanted to show you guys how good this play is. I mean, it's pretty good here, and then so you can even do that. But what makes this, why do I come out in this every time? Well, it's because we get to audible a lot. So one of our first audibles that we're going to be calling, we're going to be going over 1 on the D-pad and this pistol wing slot over. And it's this wide zone. If you don't have it there set, I don't remember if I set it, I will show you guys how to set it. And all we're doing is we're doing the same thing on targeting the safety. And we can get some really, really huge runs when we audible out of this, because they are not going to adjust properly to it. We're getting an extra blocker essentially over here as a tight end. We're untargeting here. Now this looks like it's probably man coverage by the way the safety is moved. And if you want to do that, you can run to the outside here, because typically you're not going to have number 3 sitting out there. But yeah, I really like this play. This is one of my favorite go-to runs. So you just audibling, and you audible by hitting square on the PlayStation. And look at that, we got ourselves our first touchdown run. And hit over. So how do we set these audibles? So go into practice mode, because these will save. Go over to the pistol wing over, and then you're going to hit left trigger to set your audibles, and then there's wide zone right there. There's halfback stretch, and then there's wide zone. What's the difference? I don't know, honestly. So let's see what's better. I personally like wide zone. I feel like the difference is the blocking a little bit. They push them out more. Wide zone, I feel like you get to pick your lanes a little bit better. Whereas stretch, you are kind of more forced to go to the outside and beat them on the outside. Personally, I like wide zone a lot better than stretch. Yeah, that's a good example of the stretch blocking. They try and get the outside leverage to push them inside. Or a zone block, it's more a zone blocking, right? So the stretch, they're trying to get outside leverage, push them inside, and then you have this clear, big lane on the outside. Whereas the zone blocking, it's not like that. You can kind of pick your lanes more, you can cut up more. And I just like that flexibility, I like that freedom, because if you just run stretch, some people are just going to run all the way to the outside and stop you. But stretch is a good play. If you want to throw that in your audibles, you can as well. I think stretch is going to be a lot better for man defense. But those are 3 basic plays, 3 run plays. We haven't even touched a pass play yet, but those are 3 run plays. And then another run play I like to do is I like to go to I-form. We can't audible to this, unfortunately, but we go to I-form, we hit triangle, we go to our running back, and we click on Edwards, right? We go down to Edwards or Morrow, I forget which one's faster, and come over to halfback stretch. Reason I do this is to give our starting running back a little bit of rest. You know, I still want to run the ball, but I want a little bit of change of pace. I want to give our running back some rest here, and then this is a really good play. And you can run to either side of the field. As you can see here, I flipped it over because we have numbers over to the left-hand side. If you've seen my previous videos on running the ball, you'll see that's really all we're doing. We're looking at the numbers, and right now the computer's always going to be stacking that, and we just needed a block there, and we would have been off to the races like we have the last couple of plays. So yeah, but there are plenty of times where I do end up running over here to the right, and I can break a big gain. These are all plays, and see, there's a nice little cutback. These are all plays that I've scored touchdowns on. These are really good run plays here. And once again, we are staying in the run. Now, one thing I want to show you guys, this has not been working as of late since the update, but we'll see if it's still a thing. We're going to come out and let's come out and cover 1 hole. And we're going to move this back. I'm going to show you our first pass play of the game. So we're coming out and we're going to go to the right on our D-pad to gun, wing, halfback, weak. Now you are going to have to go to gun, wing, halfback, weak and find motion PA wheel over and put that in your audibles. Now what I like to do with this, drag R1 and either put triangle on a streak, put them on an in route, or block them if I think they're blitzing a lot. And what this used to do before the patch, and I'm going to see if it does it now still, and it does a little bit, is you can pass lead that these 2 guys will run into each other. And it can often lead to circle just being wide open for an easy touchdown. And then this will kind of get them out of man coverage a lot as well. And you see I kind of just pass led that. Whoops, I went to the wrong one. I just pass led that to about, I would say 10 o'clock, 10:30, between 10 and 11 on the joystick. And then I do actually have my catch meter catching on for now. I'm trying to get better at that. As you can see, I'm trying to get better at that. There is pretty tight coverage on it right now, which is I'm wondering if it kind of got pseudo patched here, because they were just like, he was getting super open where you didn't need to pass lead at all. You could just like throw it and he would be like 10 yards. Yeah, he's not really running into him anymore. So we might have to take this play out. It's one of our man beaters, but it's still really nice. Like, he can still possibly get a touchdown on this play as well. So let's see, that one he got open more. But yeah, that's one of the plays we like to audible over to, and I'll show you where that one is at. That says gun halfback weak. This motion PA strong is one of the first ones that come out. And it's really the only play that I run out of this formation. You can run halfback buck sweep if you want. You can run other plays, but it's the only one that I'm going to break down that I've ran a lot in online play. So we have done a few of these, and some other things I do like to do, because we have a really fast quarterback, is we'll call this rollout smash every once in a while if they are coming out in, like, let's see if I can find one. If they're coming out in like an all-out blitz play, I might do something like this and just try and roll out past the entire defense here. And then sometimes, you know, if you need to, you can throw it. Or I'll go to PA stretch. That's a good one as well. I can't really do anything here. And just try and outrun the defense. Really, it's what I will try to do here. So I'm trying to find one that I've done actually a lot. The PA power, if they're running zone, sometimes I'll run that in. Let's try this PA verticals. Yeah, this one's a lot better. You just try and outrun the defender here. That was one. I'm not sure who one is covering. Oh, X is wide open. Sorry about that. But yeah, you just do that. Sometimes you get X wide open. You can throw it to him, especially if it's against a man, which is what you're mainly trying to attack when you're calling this play. You can either roll out and get some big yardage there. Obviously, the computer is attacking me pretty well here. Let's see if I do this, if this will help. But that is a good play that I will run. Now these are pretty much all the under center plays that I call here. I mean, I will call some random runs here and there out of this. But for the most part, this is all I call out of these formations. The next video I post, I'm going to be going over everything I do out of shotgun. So we're going to be going out of a lot of passing formations. You already seen one of them. Another one I will go over real quick is this jet halfback angle. And the reason I'm going over this is because you can get to it from our strong eye formation. And what I've done with this is most of the time I'll just put triangle on a streak and take them out of it. And then I'll roll out immediately to the left. And then we'll have X, R1, circle on the backside coming across. And triangle and square could run into each other if they're man coverage, and then we could get one of those two for a touchdown. This is a really, really good play. I don't run it enough, admittably. I should be running this play a little bit more in my arsenal. But it is a really good play, especially if they, just thinking you're going to be running the ball a bunch. That time they looked like they contained pretty well, so I couldn't really roll out. This looks like it might be just a cover 3. You got the tight end underneath. Super quick and easy if you need to, just to keep them honest. You have the tight end underneath. You have R1 coming on the backside. You have circle coming down on that deep dig. And something you can also do, we have everyone running to the left side of the field. If it is man coverage, you can easily kind of escape to the right, and you'll have so much room. This is zone coverage here. Yeah. I do think, if I remember correctly, I think I also stemmed down square. Let me see if that does anything here. So this is that man coverage I was telling you about. You can escape to the right, and you can get a ton of yardage here. Jeff halfback angle. And these are super quick to get to. As you can see, that was press coverage, and we have a platinum press pro right here in our slot. So he got past him really easily. And circle has been constantly open deep against zone coverage. So like if you're hitting them a lot underneath with the tight end route, their user is going to bite down. This is going to be really nice. The time they came on a blitz from the cornerback. And then if you want, you can also leave the jet motion in. Let me see if I leave it in here, because it's best against man, because then they get caught up in everything over here. And of course nobody's following him, so of course the play I was going to show you guys, they're like, hey, let's just leave it wide open here. Now this again looks like zone coverage, so dump it off to the running back. We're going to get man coverage here. Alright, so we're gonna leave it, and we're gonna throw it to the triangle and see how that works. He's gonna follow him across. Didn't work very well. Didn't work very well. Let's try it one more time. There we go. This video has gotten quite long here. But another thing I want to add is, because you're going to be audibling around a lot out of this, people are going to wait. Like, at first, they're going to be super aggressive, setting up their defense to stop the run. And mainly the power O and the halfback blast are going to want to stop that. But once they set up their defense and you audible to wide zone, they're going to be scrambling on defense. They're going to be holes everywhere in the defense for the run. And then once you start throwing in these pass plays, if they come up and start playing this crazy run defense, and then you start doing these pass plays here, they're going to be in shambles here on defense. And what you can do is you can come out and you can just hike it right away, because they're not going to be setting up their defense right away. They're not going to be setting it up immediately anymore. They're going to wait because they don't want to get screwed on defense and try and do something. Then they got to backtrack and do everything else. So you can quick hike it against them before they can set up to prepare against a run, because a lot of times they'll take one of these guys over here on the left and they'll drag him all the way over to the right to get an extra defender to stop this run. And you can really take advantage of that and get these guys out of position and get some really big plays on the run. And also, you obviously can get some really big plays on the pass. And coming up, I'm going to be showing you guys a little bit on how to get some one-play touchdowns against some defenses. If you guys are interested in that, please subscribe. I'll show you one real quick. So if you stayed for this video, I'm going to show you a one-play touchdown. It's going to be stack Y off, and it's a switch wide receiver drag. This is one of my favorite one-play touchdowns, and this beats pretty much any zone in the game. We'll go with cover 3 sky to start. And all we're doing is putting tight end on a streak. And I believe that's all I need to do here. I'll block my running back, see if I can get some extra protection. And we're going to just try and get as much protection as possible, and we're going to hit square for a touchdown. So that beats cover 3, easy peasy, one-play touchdown. Once again, just streak our tight end. And sometimes I'll stem up triangle just to make sure that one guy stays lower. And as long as we can get time in the pocket, you can see we didn't get time there, but X or square was coming open. And I believe we can probably stem down square as well. And he might get open a little bit faster for us, and he does. He does get open a little bit faster for us. So we can stem him down one. Block everything right here, and hopefully we can get enough time here in the pocket. But you can see squares coming open here, as we saw in the first one. And let's go and see how that looks against other coverages. So that's a one-play touchdown we just showed you. Again, this is stack Y off, switch wide receiver drag. And one very important thing I want to tell you guys about this play. One very important thing I want to tell you, we'll do against cover 2, is we want our wide receiver that's doing this post route, this S dig or S post, on the wide side of the field. We want him on the wide side of the field. And of course I messed up with my catching down the field. I got to get better at that. But it's really good if we're on a hash mark. That's what makes this play the best. If we can get this on a hash mark, tight end on a streak, stem him down, stem him up. If we can get time here to roll out to the right, see if I can get a full slide to the right so we can roll out maybe. Okay, he just lets him go. But it's not necessarily the one-play touchdown against cover 2 because I have the other safety, but you can really hit him deep over the middle. And I believe this also works against cover 4. So cover 4 drop. So if you guys stayed for this, hopefully it is worth it. Leave a like. Did not work there. Let's try it again. Let's not stem him down this time and see what happens. X is actually wide open, and I don't know why. But let's try throwing it to X here. Let's see how that works. Because I know before the patch, you're able to hit square for a touchdown, and no one was covering him. So let's go ahead and stem square up, actually. And I think I might know the reason for this. I think it's because our tight end is getting bumped. So let's do something else here. Okay, now motion this receiver over here. Alright, let's motion our receiver over. And let's see if that helps our cause here. Yes. So that was our issue. Our tight end was getting bumped at the line. So if you notice that happening, motion over this receiver, block your tight end, maybe put your running back on something to distract the user, you know. Did he drop that? He did. But there, that's how you bomb cover 3. That's how you bomb cover 4. Okay, and this is just one play, and you can just get some time here, especially at the end of the half, before half. Yeah, and then I got a lot of good stuff coming for this next video. We got some guaranteed one-play touchdowns against any zone coverage in this playbook. But it's not going to work all that. It's guaranteed one play probably for the first time you call it. After that, they're going to have to user cover it with their defender. So you can probably get away with it once for a cheap touchdown. We'll cover that in the next video. If you guys like this, please like, subscribe, leave a comment on maybe what team you want to see me do this with next. And if you want a defensive video as well, I can go over that as well. But yeah, so that was the under center and the audibles from under center that I call. Next video, we're going to go over all the shotgun plays.